BCA 101, Introduction to Computers and Information Systems. Alright, we did the whole thing around information systems today. We started out talking about data and how we build databases in which we gather large amounts of data, big data, lots of data. That data then, we use software to convert that data into information. And we use information then to make decisions. A structured decision is a decision that's very straightforward, okay? Like payroll. If you work X number of hours and you get so much per hour, you can calculate that. There's no leeway in the answer. It's pretty straightforward. Structured decisions fit very well to technology. Semi-structured decisions and non-structured decisions can also fit somewhat into technology that we'll talk a little more about later on. But that would be, a non-structured would be like what color of fashion, certain colors that are good for this year, or a certain design of a car, or I'll use an example of what you decide to eat for lunch. A structured decision might be you're going to eat lunch every day at a certain time based on your schedule. Pretty easy, you always do it the same, it's an easy decision to make. What you eat might be non-structured. Has nothing to do with previous data, it's just whatever you think looks good that day. Okay? Or what you like. So, we have data that accumulates into a database, and we use that data and we move it through, and we create information out of it to make decisions. For example, in here we talk about data in students taking classes, and which students are taking what classes and how many credits and what their major is and so forth. We have all that data, but somebody like the CEO of the college, we'll talk a little bit more about this in a minute, she would be more interested in knowing just the total enrollment, how many credits people are taking, because that has more of an effect on the bottom line of the college. So we take out of this data and we convert it into something that's more meaningful in order to make decisions. We call that a strategic, long-range goals for the college, for example, or any business. Tactics, the process of making things function on a regular basis, day in, day out. And transactions are really the things that deal directly with creating the database. More or less, a student signs up for a class and they pay for it. That information is taken care of here. Or you buy something at a store. That information then is translated into the database, and then maybe that information goes to a bank and some money is transferred at the bank. Who uses the data? Well, we talk about the workforce, and we sort of have a hierarchy here too. We have first line supervisors. That's a bigger chunk of this, more people. We have less people that are middle management, and a few people at the top, the CEOs. Hy-Vee stores. Hy-Vee stores probably have a CEO and some top level management. At the corporate level, they have managers for each store. They might be considered a middle manager, and then the manager of the meat counter. That would be like a first line supervisor. Or the dairy. Or the bakery. Whatever it might be, the flowers. Then we have the workforce that don't oversee anybody. So these people use, typically, this kind of information then to do their jobs, to make decisions. We will come back to this a little bit on Thursday. And talk about a few more things like timing and some of the other things dealing with information. Then the next part, we did this a little bit the other day. And so some of this is a repeat, but we're going to do it again. The other day we did a school example. Here we're doing a video store. So we have entities. We have videos. We have the customers. And we have the actual rentals. So we're going to create tables to represent those entities. Now each entity has characteristics or attributes that define the entity. Here we're going to have video ID number. We're going to give a number to each video. The video has a name, a description, a category, what it's rated, maybe when it was purchased, and we could have had more attributes related to videos. Very often those are referred to as fields. We group some fields together and we get a record. A record is a group of related fields. We got a number, Raiders of the Lost Ark, we have a description, it's an action movie, PG-13, I'm not sure if that's true, and then we have a date it was purchased. We group a bunch of records together, all these videos, and we have a file. Okay? Then we can have this table for customers, and we have the fields, customer ID, name, address, phone, etc. And we can build a table of customers. So we have another file or table, customers. Then we can decide who actually has movies rented. We have a renter ID, which video, 1236, 1236, so that's this video here. And customer 291's got it rented. 291, this customer has the movie rented. The customer also rented another movie on these dates. When the movie comes back in, we can take that information out of this table and possibly archive it if we wanted to. So we have three tables, and the information is related between the tables. For example, this unique identifier for all of the movies is called a primary key. We take that primary key and put it in another table. Here it becomes a foreign key, but it relates back to that table. Just like this is a foreign key, it was a primary key here, but it's a foreign key here. So the 291 relates back up here. That's why it's called a relational database. That's why it's called a relational database. And so we're going to work with relational databases in Access. And that's it for today.